Is that a mood ring?
No.
Wow.
Oh, you're fine. Wait, can I see that?
That's weird. All right, and we're passing around a sign-in sheet, so make sure you sign in. So to read from the file, you can just use a scanner, okay? And so import Java util scanner, same as usual. And when you want to open your file, instead of doing a scanner on system.in, do a scanner on new file and put in the path name to your file. Now, if you know where this is going to be running from, which in Eclipse is a little tricky, I think it runs from the bin directory, but it's, you know, a few levels down, you can put in a full path here, okay, to figure out exactly what the file is. I'm sitting in my current directory, so I'm just going to, you know, read from my current directory. And let's just ingest. Yeah, thanks.
You also are missing a semicolon. I see that, please.
Thank you. I know, it's like I would code so much better if I could like get your help. Yeah, totally. All right, so if you try to compile this up, you'll get an error saying that you got well, that's the first error. But we're going to have to catch an exception. Right, so when you open system.in, you can't have an exception. When you open the result of a file, you might get an exception if the file's not accessible. So this has to go in a try-catch block. Okay, so I run that and there's no haha.txt. So if we create that file and we run this, then it can read in that file. So that's how you input from the database. And that's just using scanner that you've already been using. The only difference is creating the scanner, constructing the scanner with this new file, and making sure that you put it inside a try-catch block. Yeah?
If we make the text file in the source file in Eclipse, will it still have to have a funky?
You might need to say //source.
Okay.
But I'm not positive.
Okay.
You can try it and pop something in bin, see if that's where it's located.
I think it was the folder above bin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you want it in your main project.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, the other thing to be aware of is if you do this, this is not going to work. Right, this will give you a compile error. And it'll complain that it can't find SC because when you say scanner SC inside a try block, it's local to this block of code. So SC doesn't have any meaning outside here. So just define it outside, right? You could define it as a class variable, but don't do that, right? Class variables should really be things that you need to access throughout the entire class. SC, we only need to access inside this one method, so we're just going to put it inside here. But if you're calling other methods and they want access to SC and you don't want to pass it, then you can make SC a class variable. All right, so that's the input side. The output side we've talked about once. So Java IO print writer. So construct a print writer, again with a new file, name of a file, and that's going to have to go inside a try-catch block also. So print writer PW, and then I'll just set PW to, and I'll construct a new print writer off of that file, catch it if there's an exception, and then this works like system.out, so we can say pw.println, and everything that you do with println when you're writing a standard out, you can do with a print writer. And then just make sure you do pw.close at the end, okay, so that it flushes your output into the file. So if we do that, there's haha2.txt. And if you, say, have a file that you don't have write access to, you'll get an exception, in this case permission denied, right? If the file already exists, that should be fine. It'll just go ahead and overwrite its contents. So be careful what you call your output file. Don't call it your Java program, or it will clobber itself. All right, so that's all there is to do in the output side. Yeah.
Does Java have a way to force ignoring exceptions?
To force ignoring exceptions.
Yeah. So like if you had checked your file and you knew that you could write to it or whatever, is there a way to make it so the compiler lets you write it?
There's, if I understand what you're asking, no, you can't directly say, like, go ahead and do this even though you're throwing an exception. But you could catch that exception, and then inside there you could do something like, you know, call a system call to change a permission on the file, or something else like that. But I don't think there's an automatic way to do it. All right, that's pretty much all you need for PA4, right? You know the algorithm. You know how to read from a file, you know how to write to a file, you know how to make trees, right? That's all the pieces. So it's just putting them together now. Good? All right. Have fun. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.
What's the directory for the big
/temp.
/ for the and on the Linux server?
Yeah.
Okay.